Was your kid an accident?
Was my kid an asshole?
That should have been a question. Was your kid?
Was your kid an accident or planned?
Ooh. Surprise.
Ooh, she was an accident.
So what happened was,
I didn't know I was pregnant until 6 months in. I honestly thought I was very bloated. I was like, oh. So I went to the doctors. They were like, oh, congratulations, you're pregnant. I was like, yeah, fucking right.
huh? Wait a minute, what? I was supposed to have my period and I did not.
Was your kid an accident?
I found out when I was 3 months pregnant and I actually had 2 periods.
Were you just spotting at that time?
No, full on 5 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
By the time I found out, I was already 4.5 months. So it was kind of like, shit, we're in it.
And you find out when you start getting real big and it, like, what's going on.
Were your kids an accident?
My eldest was, I say surprise. It was a surprise. It was a tequila baby, so.
What do you mean by tequila baby?
I don't know, laughing over there.
I always used to joke and say tequila gets you pregnant, and then, went to Mexico.
I had kind of been drinking. There was some wine involved.
We went to see a band.
Like, I'm turning that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think like, kid was gonna come.
Were your kids an accident?
Oh my God, no. We really practiced.
He was planned.
There was a whole lot of planning.
Mine were very much planned because we adopted all of our kids.
It only took like 2 months.
We tried for 9 months. Every single month, I probably peed on like 5 pregnancy tests. I wanted this baby.
Did you have your kid on purpose?
I was devastated that I was pregnant.
I was terrified.
It was scary. I was pretty overwhelmed.
Shit.
I just didn't want one with who I was with at the time.
Holy shit, I don't even know this guy.
When I had her, I wasn't exactly at the best place mentally.
I had just started my career.
There was not a plan of having a third one. I was very depressed for probably all of my pregnancy. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, man, I'm never gonna have any freedom and stuff, I'll never be free. I'm always gonna have kids.
Did you plan on having your kids?
My youngest is actually a failed abortion. I had a full-blown surgical DNC with her, and so apparently they just nicked part of the yolk sac and completely missed her. And so she came out with all her fingers and toes and every body part, so that's good.
Were you just like, should I go get another one?
Me and the father were both like, this is meant to be.
Tried to have a medical abortion because we were like, we got shit to do. It didn't fucking work. She's a fucking fighter is all I can say, because I'm not going down.
Were any of your kids accidents?
Yeah.
Yes.
If it happens, it happens. And I'm not gonna be mad if it happens.
They were not planned, but not prevented.
We didn't use any sort of protection.
It was hard to stay 6 feet away from each other in a 2-room apartment.
Well, I probably won't even get pregnant. We were just gonna kind of roll with it. So they were all happy accidents, but kind of planned. I don't know if that makes sense.
Were your kids planned or an accident?
My first one's like a prom night baby, so.
Really?
I got pregnant on spring break. So.
I thought my parents were gonna kill me.
Woo, I was very young.
I was 16 and homeless and a drug addict. I changed everything for her.
When I first became a mom, I was a teen parent. It was the first time I had sex, so I was like, surprise, I'm really sick 3 weeks later. I don't know what's going on.
My mom told me to go to the doctor. You're not eating, you're sick all the time. We set up like this whole plan on what kind of tests we were gonna do and stuff. And then she came back like 30 minutes later and she was like, yeah, actually you're pregnant.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually fainted.
Oh, you really, like, for real?
I really did, yeah. Yeah, because my dad was out in the waiting room.
How did you tell them?
I didn't. They got a letter in the mail from the insurance company.
She wasn't planned by us, she was planned by God.
I had recently decided that I wanted to wait to have kids, and then my dad got diagnosed with a terminal illness 2 months after I found out I was pregnant. I found a journal entry I wrote during that time, and I literally had written in there that I had no capacity for the pregnancy or for the baby because my dad being sick was taking everything from me. There was like a small window where it felt happy, and then it was really hard.
Was your kid an accident?
No, he was planned.
I'm married to a woman, so she was very, very, very planned.
I always imagined that I would grow up and have kids.
All right, done with the birth control.
We knew that we had stable jobs and family to support us.
We loved each other. We were ready for that next step.
We planned her.
I got pregnant and it was like one of the happiest times of my life.
Did you plan to have your kids or were they accidents?
My daughter was an accident. I found out I had a severe case of polycystic ovary syndrome and I was likely not gonna be able to have kids. And then it was like, well, who cares about contraception? This is not gonna happen. And then I had my daughter. And so after my daughter, I got an implant and intentionally took it out when I was ready to have my son.
Both my husband and I were told that it would be extremely difficult for us to conceive. We were only married for 2 months before we conceived my first son. And then his other brother came really quickly after. So now we don't believe that anymore.
Was your kid an accident?
Literally, we got pregnant right after our wedding.
On our honeymoon.
A week after we got engaged.
And we thought it would take longer than it did.
We were like, oh, you know what? Let 2022 be the year that we try for a baby. New year, baby.
So you found out you're pregnant.
My test popped up within 30 seconds, and it was the Dollar Tree test. So when they tell you that the Dollar Tree test is the truth, they really are. They really work.
And I looked down and I screamed. I immediately grabbed my best friend, took her into my office, and we looked down and I was like, oh fuck.
And just staring at it.
I had tunnel vision.
And I ran out of the clinic as fast as I could and I threw the pregnancy test at my partner's head.
Life-changing.
Were your kids planned or an accident?
My oldest was planned and my second was a surprise.
It's a happy accident, but they're still loved. And the shit they say is wild.
Actually, on my way here today, my son goes, Mom, am I a reminder of you and Dad having sex? And I'm like, where is this coming from? Yes. Did you plan on having your kid or was he an accident?
My family thinks he was an accident, but he was planned.
What do you mean?
I was really, really nervous to tell my family. And so I was just like, I don't know how this happened. The birth control didn't work. No.
Who's the first person you told outside of your partner?
My dad was just, you know, this is what happens when you have unprotected sex.
My grandma had recently passed and like a month before she passed, I walked in the room and she was like, you pregnant? And I was like, no, I'm not.
Was your little poopy an accident?
Yes. Oh yeah.
What was it like when you first found out you were pregnant?
Oh, I know immediately. The next morning, I just felt physically different.
I was at my sister's house. We had hot dogs and red Gatorade, and I threw up all over in her bathroom.
Oh.
Was your kid a happy surprise?
Oh yeah, of course. Because when I had my kids, I was 37 already.
Me and her dad were already together. Looking back at the videos of like when we're like finding out, he didn't seem too excited. He seemed so scared. I'm like, babe, why do you look so scared? He's like, I was, but I didn't want to like say that.
I wanted to keep the baby and I didn't know if that would be a deal breaker for him.
I was more nervous because I was going to have to tell my husband, but I've had like that motherly instinct my whole life.
What I can remember is that I was joyful, I was stressless.
Amazing, excited. More than anything, more than like the job that I have, more than any goal I could ever have, I wanted to be a mom.
I had no problem, with deciding whether or not to keep her.
But I made it through and she's good.
It wasn't my accident. My wife had him with someone else before she was ready to do that. Their accident is my blessing. That sounds so corny, but it's true. I wouldn't be a parent without that happening, so we don't regret any of it, but yeah, it definitely wasn't on purpose.
No, keep it 100. Keep it 100. It's a game, and guess what? Our Keep It 100 game is now available at Target. This is huge for us, and we need your support. If you wanted to help us out, you can go to your local Target, and if you see the Keep It 100 game, go ahead and post a photo of it or a video. Tag us at Cut. Let us know what city you're in. We are gonna pick some of our favorite clips and photos and repost them onto our own social channels. And for some of you, we'll send you a prize. I don't know what it is, but I bet you'll be something cool, like maybe some swag, one of our many games, maybe snacks, a puppy, I don't know. We'll send you something cool. Target, can you believe it? This game is now available at Target.